Welcome back, everybody. The Grand Tactician, Civil War. Grandpa Gaming is episode 52 of our federal Summer 61 campaign using the a.o.m mod. So, last episode, which was the back end of June, not as busy as previous episodes, but, or the 2 episodes prior, but we did get quite a bit done and regained some ground that we lost with the dissolution of the one army. So, but a lot of things did happen. So we'll start up here in Virginia as usual. The Army of the East is still containing the rebel corps that are here now. They were down here where the Army of the East is. They are now contained just south of Alexandria and outside of Winchester. So I'm going to be leaving the Army of the East here for the time being to continue combating these corps up here. The grunts, once their readiness has gone back up, because they're down the orange right now. Once they're in the yellow, we're going to start moving them again. And their target's going to be Charlotte, North Carolina. The Engineer Corps, which was besieging Fort Fisher, that siege is now over. They have failed at it. They are now retreating up the road to Fayetteville, North Carolina. From there, I'm going to move them up to Raleigh because there is a supply depot there, so they'll be able to get their act together more quickly in that location. The readiness is still good, but they are now out of supply and their morale is broken. So moving them up to Raleigh, where the supply depot is, will fix that sooner. We do have an ongoing naval engagement here with our Monitor Squadron. And it looks like it'll be ending here soon. Only one rebel ship is still in the fight, and that's the Henry Dodge. One ship sunk, 2 in retreat, and 1 still in the action. So that'll be over soon. And the Frigate Squadron, which took a massive beating last episode, pretty disastrous beating, getting into, I put them into a naval combat I never really should have. I still think they should have won it, but, it is what it is. And they were kind of glitched out a little bit last episode. Wasn't able to move them around like I should have been able to. And then they got drawn up here with some really weird movement lines going on. It doesn't look like they've been drawn into this fight, thankfully. So hopefully once this engagement is over, I can get both these squadrons back up to a port and get them repaired and resupplied. Army of the Ohio is still in the Appalachia Valley. They are now just outside of Knoxville, and I'm actually going to have them remain in Knoxville for time being until their readiness is back up. And then we're going to go after Hardee's Corps, which is over here also with the Army of Tennessee. So they came out, tried to recapture Knoxville on us. We pushed them back. So we need to do something about these corps here. Like, I ignored them for too long, and it kind of bit me in the ass last episode. So we are going to have to take care of these 2 corps in the Appalachia Valley. The corps we have left alone in Kentucky has actually been strengthened up now. This was at like 2,000 men. Looks like they've strengthened up for some operations now. So that's up to 10,000 men. So it will have to be addressed. And it looks like B's Corps, which they were upgrading to about a 10,000 man corps, looks like they've actually stopped to transfer those troops and sent them elsewhere. So he's only going up to 4,600 men now. Army of Tennessee is still at Fayetteville in Arkansas. Still trying to get them prepped up for a push against Fort Smith. But it looks like the other 2 rebel corps that were hiding south of it have reappeared. We have Stevenson's Corps and Fry's Corps. Fry's Corps has got 10,000 men in it, so they've gotten themselves a little bit stronger over in this region. Not as strong as they were, but it looks like they're trying to replus their numbers again. They know I'm going for Fort Smith, so they're trying to prevent that from happening. Department of Minnesota is currently at Corinth, which they did flip at the end of last episode, so their next target will be Decatur. So actually, we can actually order them to start moving right now. Get on down the road, boys, and we'll regain everything we lost here in Alabama and Georgia when the army disintegrated and they were able to retake all of that. And the Independent Cavalry Corps is currently down in Beaumont, Texas. So Texas is outside of the fortifications along the borders. Texas is ours. So Cavalry Corps has done a lot of work for us, not combat-wise. They have done 0 fighting, but they have done a lot of traveling. So they've gotten a lot done for us. So their morale is still unstable. So once their morale comes up, because their readiness is good, they should resupply quickly because there's not a big force. And once their morale is good, we're going to be pushing them over into New Orleans and track them north to Jackson, over to Meridian, and then back down to Mobile, as there's actually a fort here along the road, along the coast road to Mobile, that they're not going to be able to siege down. So I do have to send them a long way up and around, so I do have to wait for their morale to recover. So they got a lot of marching ahead of them just to get to New Orleans before I can move them by rail to the other locations. All right, I think that covers everything for right now. Pretty much a shorter recap than usual, but I think we're finally going to be pushing things to this conclusion hopefully soon. I know I keep saying that. Then the rebels do something that, changes my mind on that perspective. All right, it's now July 1st, so it's time to go into the monthlies. Starting off with economy. Current rate of our economy is A. Our debt remained unchanged to the last month. Currently, our liabilities still amount to $315 million. It says wealth of population is below average increase compared to previous month, but it always tends to say that. Total exports was 1.2 out, 1.3 billion in. So we've been kind of keeping that even on, almost. I think last month it was even on. Average core production over the last 3 months was 474 million. It changed to negative 6.7 million, which doesn't really make much sense to me. And our economy lacks iron, artillery, ammunition, and coffee, which another thing that doesn't make sense to me is we control most of the iron mines in the country, almost all of them. Looking at finances, we actually have a surplus of 152 million. So we should start seeing our debt paid down soon. It says we have 23 million on hand right now. So hopefully we will start paying down some of that debt soon. All right, intelligence. Rebels are still working on the Third Conscription Act, which shows their desperation. They have completed the following projects: propaganda, logistics reform, cotton is king, send envoys, recruit offices, and suppress population. Wow, that's the most projects I've ever seen them do in 1 month. And it says they've finally improved their relations to 57% with Britain, but it's a little late for that now. They're getting working on that a bit late. It says they haven't raised any new brigades or batteries, but they have started construction on 8 more ships, which makes 0 sense whatsoever. Morale Confederate arms is currently at 46%, which makes sense because we just beat the crap out of them. Once again, I mean, really beat the crap out of them. And 2 officers have been killed in action, General Lawrence Ross and Major Rice Graves. Looking over here at, not military strategy, national morale. We're currently at 70 to 39, so we should get that dropping even more quickly now that we have armies on the move. National support, we're at 55 to their 72. Once again, their support's higher because ours is lower because we control a lot more of their territory. So that drags down our national support. Morale of armies, we're at 57 to 47. I don't understand why ours is that low, but it is. Men in the field, we have 119,518 in the field to their 126,723. Naval times I'm not worried about. Battles won, we're at 123 to their 22. Total casualties, we're sitting at 99,820 to their 262,772. So, yeah, we're making the South weep. All right, policies. We are still working on Military 3. That'll take another 43 days to complete. Like I said, once we're done with that, we'll be moving on to Banked Act 1. Projects. Let's see what we have available. Not much really here. We'll take another level of weapon production just to do it. I could take 2 levels. Wow, we got a lot of money pumped into there. Don't really need any of this other stuff, but we will take propaganda. There we go. And yeah, let's pump some money into civil order. There we go. That used up all of our money. We never really do that. And weapons production. I know we started making... Okay, we got some more Sharps rifles now we can issue out. We also started making, if I remember correctly, repeating rifles. We only have 673 so far. So at the rate we're making them, we probably won't even see these fielded before the campaign's over. All right, I think that covers everything for now, so I'll be back with the next incident. All right, it's now July 3rd, and we have our next action here, and it is our Arm of the East going up against this knot of Corps south of Alexandria. So I was going to wait a little longer, but I was quite honest with you, like I think anybody would be. I was unhappy with all of these rebel forces sitting in between me and my capital, and the possibility of one of them making a run at it. So I did send the Army of the East north to go take it on. So we have the Army of Washington in command. 5 different corps, all told together, equal our 1 corps in combat size. We're bringing 14,517 infantry, 1,152 cavalry, and 24 guns under Meade. Against David R. Jones' Army of Washington, which has Randolph's Corps of 3,000 men, Early's Corps of 4,500 men, Holmes' Corps of 3,900 men, Jenkins' Corps, which is part of the Army of Alabama, 823 men, and the Department of Western Florida with another 3,000 men. Altogether, 13,674 infantry, 1,692 cavalry, and 4 guns. So, I know I keep saying this, we're finally getting these guys out of Virginia, but we got to see where they retreat to. It's getting ridiculous. The game just does not want to let these units leave Virginia. Welcome, my grunts, to the Battle of Culpepper Courthouse. We are on the Fredericksburg map, and we are attacking south to north here. The rebels control Fredericksburg itself and the other side at the Lacey Farm. So basically the complete opposite of what Fredericksburg really was. But once again, we're still attacking. We're not defending. So not much to do. Like I said, they are equal in numbers to us. We're starting all the way down here by the Massaponack River. So we got a little ways to go. We got the one road to go up, and that's Telegraph Road for the most part. I could shift down and come up from this direction, but we're going to come down through Telegraph Road and make our attack out of the mountains here. Probably would be better from do it from here, but I want to try and get us into the open fields out here to deploy instead of trying to cross these streams over here under fire, possibly. So I'm going to get these troops in motion, and we'll see if we get an attack launched today. It is 12:30, so we should have something happen. Maybe we can get this done before the sun goes down. All right, it's now 13:30, and we do have 2 of the rebel corps sided. We do have Randolph's Corps down here in the southern part of town, and Jenkins' Corps up here in the northern part of town. So I have the 8th Infantry coming up here onto Lee's Hill. We'll be moving them on to Mary's Heights here once they have gotten to location. I have the 7th Infantry coming down here towards the open field south of the Hazel Mill. And I've ordered the Celtic Division to head up here along Cemetery Hill to the Stansbury Heights, and my artillery to line up here along the Military Road. I'm hoping more of the rebels are here, but if it's just these 2 small corps, we should be able to force them out very easily. Maybe the rest are along here on the island or back across at the Lacey House. We just haven't sighted them yet. Speaking of which, only the Brandenburg Dragoons right now are strong enough to actually send out vedettes, so we're going to order them forward. I might as well send the Raiders with them. I'll probably actually have them line up here along the fence as a protective line for the artillery. So still developing how we're going to have the troops in. Let's send the, don't want you guys using that road. Come back here. But should be a 3-direction attack. I may attack with just the 7th and 8th, depending on how long it takes the Celtics to get into position, because we should be able to do this with just the 2 divisions. All right, it's now 14:50, and we are ready to launch our attack. I have given orders for the 7th Infantry Division move forward into the southern part of Fredericksburg. Their attack is going to localize in on... Oh, Department of Western Florida is here, too. They weren't here earlier. They did move troops across the pontoon bridges. So this was originally, I believe it was Randolph's Corps down here. It looks like the Department of Western Florida is here now. Because it looks like they moved everybody across the river. They were crossing the pontoon bridges earlier. I just wasn't paying much attention to it. So 7th Infantry Division is going to push into and secure southern Fredericksburg, ending their attack along the rail line and unfinished railroad over here. Once they completed their attack, the 8th Infantry Division is going to push into Fredericksburg North, coming over the hill here. They may or may not begin their attack while the 7th is attacking, depending on what the rebel corps in this area do. Still waiting on the artillery and the Celtics to show up. The artillery is once again tripping all over itself, so they're not going to be arriving anytime soon. And I believe the Celtics will be in position by the Stansbury House while this attack is going on. Then we'll push them over onto the Canal Island and possibly join in the attack from across these two bridges here. You guys get your orders yet? Or are you still waiting? Still waiting. Thought they'd have their orders while finished up that explanation what was going on. Where's Meade? Oh, he's all the way back there still. So no idea how those orders are traveling. Should be coming down one of these roads, I would think. Oh, they're moving. They got him.
Save your water for when the shooting starts.
So this is the Hoosier Hellions, Norwegian Vikings, and the Whiskey Rebels going in on this one. They're going up against 1st Florida, Florida Militia, Florida Engineer Battalion, Pyrons Brigade, Florida Brigade, and the Florida Home Guard, and 1st South Carolina Militia Artillery.
Save your water for when the shoot. Save your water for when. Save your water for when. Save your water for when the. Save your water for when the shooting starts.
Shoot some fresh orders for these guys.
Save your water for when the shooting. Don't aim.
All right, looks like we're gonna have a little bit of a bottleneck here. They're starting to react to being close to the rebels. They once again look like they are armed with rifles. You should have received those halt orders immediately, right on top of the division commander. We get too bogged down by tripping on top of each other. Oh, looks like the rebels might be coming out for us. Or at least maneuvering in front of us. What are you boys doing? Let's come on. What you guys are doing? Or you end up leaving the whiskeys out to dry if you don't pull your shit together. Alright, looks like things are going to be kicking off a little sooner than I thought. Vickies, what the hell are you doing? This attack is not pulling off the way I wanted it to down here. Celtics. Let me guess, the engineers broke up the line of march again, didn't they? They did. Who's wounded? Wallace. Vickies. There we go, Florida Militia's finally seen off. Engineer, since you guys broke the line of march, head out to Canal Island. Excuse me. right in front of us and we cannot see them. Literally, they're right there. About to walk onto them. Wounded, border. And there are the bucktails, because you guys are taking your time getting into position. This crap down here with the Florida boys, this is not cool. Literally just walked right on top of them. Almost 50% casualties on the Hoosiers. Jeez. We just broke. This crap the Florida Corps is not cool. Alright, don't chase him across the pontoon, turn around. Over 50% casualties in the Hoosiers. And with the bucktails. Morale's breaking. Boys. Runs come right down the road. What the hell are you boys doing? What the hell's this brigade doing? It looks like almost all these brigades are armed with Whitworths, which is really crazy. Have we... Oh, no, it's minor defeat. I thought it said major defeat for a second. I'm like, ooh, how the hell did we get there? Looks like they might be starting to run out of ammo. That's a good sign. That's good also. Looks like we might be able to get a push on the flank going. Come on, engineers, push up a little further. I just don't want them getting caught out on the bridge. Where the fuck are my batteries? Still tripping all over each other. Why the hell are these guys marching backwards? Still got a chance of pulling this off. Oh, what the hell, Hoosiers. There we go. Finally moved those Louisianans out. guys broke on the way there. Great. And they want the engineers. I knew getting stuck on that bridge would do something like that. Getting closer with those carbines. Are y'all starting to break? We're starting to get that chain reaction. I think they still have fresh brigades is the problem. Oh, we just shifted to a major defeat because of losses. How close were we? Oh, we were both about to break. Basically, even on casualties for both sides. We did a little more to them than they did to us. Keep firing, boys. Just keep firing. If the engineers hadn't broken, this would have been ours. Just keep firing. See, they're all breaking now. It was literally down to the wire. We just taken a few less casualties, this fight would have been ours. They're at 23% casualties to our 21. So it was literally down to the wire. Ugh, that is, ugh. I wouldn't call this a defeat. It's just that the game made it a defeat. All right, we took down 3,700 of their 15,000 infantry. We took down 350 or 1,900 cavalry. Got 0 of their 5 guns. Total loss of 4,100 of their 17,000 men. We lost 3,474 of our 14,513 infantry. 7 of our 1,150 cavalry. Looks like one of my batteries broke. I don't know why. They weren't anywhere near the combat zone because they're all too busy tripping over each other. I'm pointing out behind me like you guys can actually see me talking right now. But they're all tripping over each other instead of goddamn getting up to the battle zone. Total loss of 3,481 of our 16,011 men. I'm not really sure if the batteries would have made much of a difference, but probably would have cleared out some of those buildings in town to make fighting a bit easier. Ugh, horrible. What really messed us up was over here with the Florida guys, where we literally walked into their brigades and didn't even see them. And then while we're in hand-to-hand with them, I don't know if anybody else noticed it, their units were disappearing from view while we're in hand-to-hand with them. That is just absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. All right, time for the reports. And this is not going to be pretty. All right, Ross's Raiders did 135 to infantry, and Brandenburg Dragoons did 58 to infantry. Losses, Ross's Raider, 3 dead, 2 wounded, 5 missing, total of 5. Aggregate strength of 454, 1% casualties. Brandenburg Dragoons, 1 dead, 1 wounded. Engineers did 3 to infantry, 20 to cavalry, total 24. They should have done better than that. Losses, 7 dead, 30 wounded, 2 missing, total 39. Aggregate strength 1,324, 3% casualties. 7th Infantry Division, Hoosier Hellions did 597 to infantry, captured 48, 7 artillery, for total 653. Whiskey Rebels did 428 to infantry, captured 25, 42 to cavalry, for total 500. Norwegian Vikings did 106 to infantry, 34 to cavalry, captured 34, 32 to cavalry, for total 174. Losses: Hoosier Hellions 131 dead, 750 wounded, 135 missing, total 1,016. Aggregate strength 629, 62% casualties. Whiskey Rebels 67 dead, 296 wounded, 48 missing, total 411. Aggregate strength 696, 37% casualties. Norwegian Vikings, and they're the ones that broke the easiest. 25 dead, 98 wounded, 25 missing, total 148. Aggregate strength 1,558, 9% casualties. Celtic Division, Blue Runs did 310 to infantry, 72 to cavalry, for total 388. Irish Legion did 211 infantry, and the Scots Guards did 544 to infantry, plus up to 546, got some command staff there. Losses: Blue Runs 34 dead, 124 wounded, 30 missing, total 188. Aggregate strength of 905, 17% casualties. Irish Legion 35 dead, 169 wounded, 37 missing, total 241. Aggregate strength 1,005, 19% casualties. Scots Guards 2 dead, 3 wounded. Wow. Wow. Okay. And they were one of the highest damage dealers, too. Wow. 8th Infantry Division, Vicky Rifles did 525 to infantry, 76 to cavalry, for total 603. 1st Poles, 264 to infantry, 26 to cavalry, total 290. Bucktails, 108 to infantry, 51 to cavalry, total 161. Losses: Vickies, 89 dead, 385 wounded, 92 missing, total 566. Aggregate strength is 793. All right, 1st Poles, 92 dead, 388 wounded, 75 missing, total 555. Aggregate strength of 938. 37% casualties. Bucktails, 42 dead, 225 wounded, 38 missing, total 305. Aggregate strength 1,918. 14% casualties. I'm not even going to look at the artillery division because they should have 0 combat, 0 losses. I don't even know why that one battery broke. All right, losses for officers. I know we lost at least 2. And both from the 8th Infantry, General Wallace of the Vickies and Brigadier General Porter of the Bucktails, both wounded. All right, let's see if we got any of the rebel officers at least. Brigadier General Vaughn of 7th Virginia. Some of these divisions don't even have troops in them. General Pryor, commander of the Department of Western Florida. Brigadier General Archer, commander of Ruggles Division. And we only got 3 of their officers. Okay. Could close out here, and I'll see you all at the newspaper screen. Defeat at Culpepper Courthouse. At least it wasn't a major defeat because both of our sides were in major defeat numbers. And it looks like Colonel Warren lost face. All right. Battle of Culpepper Courthouse has ended with the Army of the East retreating from the field. The enemy's reported suffered total casualties of 4,076 men. There are 522 killed and 357 captured. Our casualties totaled 3,481 men with 528 killed, 482 missing, and the rest are wounded. Ugh. That was down to the damn wire on who was going to win or lose that one. And we got to replace some officers before the AI does. I don't know if Warren deserves to be defamed the way he was, but... All right, you're Nebraska territory. I don't think we have any Nebraska territory officers. We have one, and he's in command of a unit right now, it looks like. I don't say where he is, though. Oh, professional. Seniority. It looks like Anderson's up for a command. And Porter, Pennsylvania unit. And it looks like George Wincoop's up next. Florida's down to the orange, but not too badly. They're going to be in the same conditions. So I'm not too worried about that. And we're actually not even retreating that far, but I will draw us back down. How the hell do they have control of Gordonsville? But I'm going to bring them back down to Charlottesville where the hospital is. Since we can't get through them up to Alexandria. Might as well upgrade that hospital while we're here. We have the money. Oh, it looks like maybe I'll be sending the grunts back in for another attack against them. Instead of sending them south like I originally planned. Oh. And we got another fight out here in the west. So it looks like Pierce's corps. Yeah, now they know we're trying to move against Fort Smith. They're going to start throwing the rebels at us again out here. I have a feeling that's what's happening. Because we got close to Fort Smith and then backed off, and it looks like they're like, yeah, let's start throwing troops at him again. So Pierce's corps, 15,395 infantry, 2,300 cavalry, 20 guns, is going after the Army of Tennessee with 19,662 infantry, 1,333 cavalry, and 29 guns. This is some bloody ground over here. Welcome, my grunts, to the Battle of Fayetteville. So, once again, we're defending at Elkhorn Tavern, and we're a little further back to where we defended last time, and it's already 20:30. Day's going to end here in less than half an hour. The Confederates are coming in from one position here, and that is south of the Brightwater farmstead. So, I'm going to hold position where we are now. I'm not going to push forward to where we were fighting, in hopes to get a better use out of my artillery over here a little bit. One change will be this one brigade, the Valkyries, swinging down the block this road here in this brigade, this first suffrage. Basically just moving online a little better across these two roads. With one division up here on this flank in case they decide to come up around this way again like they have previously. And I'm leaving the engineers and the cavalry back by Elkhorn, just in case they get a push through somewhere. All right, very straightforward defense, so come back in once we have contact with the rebels. All right, we did not even have ourselves a fight. The rebels decided to withdraw as soon as the overnight hit. Disappointing, honestly. Quite disappointing. You know, they come out for an attack, and then they don't even oblige us with that attack. and I'm going to read that article. Problem is, they're going to be camped out like just southwest now, but hopefully this holds them back for a couple of days. Start throwing more supplies in this direction. Looks like Stevenson snuck across the river. Yeah, they're not even retreating very far. So we're going to remain camped there, see if we can't get things done there. All right. Department of Minnesota is now at Tuscumbia, almost to Decatur. Independent Cavalry Corps is on its way to Basher. I can load them on the rail and send them into New Orleans. And we have lost sight of the 2 rebel corps up in the Appalachia Valley. We just lose sight of them or they move. Either way, our readiness is not high enough to go after them. You know what? Go ahead and build yourselves a depot. There is one here. Let's abandon that. They're not drawing any supply from it, so it doesn't matter. You guys are taking your time marching. Why'd your orders stop? They had orders to move up to Rolla, and for some reason they stopped following them. Interesting. It also looks like the frigate squadron is completely glitched out. They're not even moving anymore, so I'm going to disband this squadron. And the minor squadron has gone up to Port Elizabeth, which is not a good place for them to be because it's a blockaded port. And they are coming back again already. Let's move you guys. Well, the readiness is in the red, so I can't move them. Okay. All right, 1700. Hopefully we have the time for an engagement. If they withdraw again, I'm just going to be so pissed. All right, welcome back to Fayetteville, my grunts. Hopefully this time we will have ourselves in action. It's only 1630, so we have until 2100 for the rebels to come out and fight us. Lord knows if they will or not. They are approaching up the same road once again, Telegraph Road. Our deployment zone's a little different this time, though. I'm not going to change up our deployments that much. Artillery, infantry is basically set up the way they were in the last fight, except for this division here, which I've moved to straddle these 2 roads here. So no changes. Hopefully we can get some action on this one. Otherwise, all these load screens are such a huge waste of time. All right, it's now 1800. We do have the rebels sided. Looks like their main force is coming down this main road as usual, and it looks like they have a smaller force coming down this road here, which is why I do have my other division, the Bastards, out in that direction. So, I don't know what the 1st Cree have seen. You got the 1st and 2nd Cree mounted rifles over here. I don't know if they saw my line here, which is laying down. They definitely can see the division commanders right there behind them. But they're heading right for the Valkyries and the Suffrage.
I think I saw something, Sarge.
Get ready to greet them, boys. Not the best opening volleys, but compared them by almost half. There they go. I think the 2nd Cree got smart and held in position. Still can't see those boys yet, but we got dust trails all the way from bright water up here to our location. It looks like they're still coming forward anyway.
Lie down. Keep that head.
You guys gonna come straight down the main road or try something different? They're going down that same road, and we got first Choctaw Chickasaw right behind them. Where are you boys going? You're more cavalry, probably the rest of the mounted rifles.
Lie down.
These guys are riding right at the Blackbeards.
Lie down. I think I saw something, Sarge.
And boys, you know, you're riding to a bad spot when you see all those bodies laying in the road. Come on, turn around. Be smart about this. Now, same numbers on the opening volleys.
Flank, soldier. Sir, keep that.
You see these boys yet? Not quite yet, even though they're right in front of us. There they go. It looks like they actually managed to return a volley on the suffrage. We got here first Cherokee. They're just coming in piecemeal, which is just turning this into a shooting gallery for us. This probably might be over before we even seen the main body.
Stay down.
Yeah, it's coming up that road.
Sarge.
All right, Blackbeards, get ready. Yeah, give it to him. Up too soon. Who's that behind them? Second Cherokee. All right, lifeguards, give it to them. And there they go. And there they went. This is like playing whack-a-mole right now. I'll be honest. It's like playing whack-a-mole. First Seminoles. I'm surprised they haven't gotten orders to stop coming at us. unless they're too far away from their commander. But they should have gotten their orders already to just stop. Inflicted 650 casualties. Not much, because this report says I have 16,000 men, which is more than my initial report said. You gonna be smart about it? Got here, second Cherokee. Guess there's only the 2 brigades coming up this way. Might be more cutting through the woods there. Give it to them, boys.
Faster, Private, move!
Yeah, I'm going to hold this here until we start seeing some more of their main force. Alright, it's now low after 1900. We do have their infantry brigades in sight. One of them, the Rose, is definitely armed with Whitworths. Jones coming right down the road to the Black Guards, and they're already stopping to fire at us, so... You know, I love it. When we lay down and we're in a wheat field, they can see us clearly, but they can be laying down right at our feet. We still won't see them, which is... This stuff's really starting to get in range. As they are, but it looks like they're just outside. Alright, just stay in cover, boys. Let's see if they push in on us. Now, one brigade's pulling back. This one's just staying there hanging out. And it looks like we're going to be sitting here taking their fire for a little bit, so I'll be back if they actually start a push or I decide to counter-punch. They're not in position by 2000. I'm launching an attack just to use that last hour of daylight to do something. Alright, it's now 1930. Looks like the rebels might finally be massing up for an attack here. Got skirmishers coming forward, not worried about that. But they're just sitting out of our range right now. If I stand up our boys, I think we might take more damage than we'll do to them. But I'm definitely, like I said, 2000 will be launching the attack if they do not. This is a nice massed up group right here for us to lay into. Quarters up 92 casualties just by sitting there sniping at us. Yeah, you know what? I'm not waiting to 2000. I don't like this. Suffrage, let's go, Valkyries. Oh, looks like they're coming in. Perfect timing. more of those rifles firing. Planting. What the hell are you doing, Keystones? Just get out on the damn road. And that's it. They're going to issue withdrawal here soon. Both these brigades are now tangled on each other. Freaking stones. And there they go. What the hell are you guys doing? Come on. We're out of time on the clock. I'm going to cause a few more casualties than that, but I'll take what we got. All right, we took down 1,600 or 14,000 infantry, 950 or 2,100 cavalry, as well as 2,600 or 16,000 men. As well as 294 of our 19,694 infantry, and nobody from any other arm. All right, time for the combat reports. All right, Liberty Legion. First Suffrage did 396 to infantry, 479 to cavalry, for a total of 875. Lincoln Valkyries did 125 to cavalry. Losses. First Suffrage, 1 dead, 14 wounded, 3 missing, for a total of 18. 1% casualties in that brigade. Bastards. I said the Bastards, not the 9th. Blackbeards did 221 to cavalry. Losses of 3 dead, 3 wounded. Looks like they took 1 volley. 9th Division. Lifeguards did 336 to infantry, 103 to cavalry, for a total of 439. Jersey Devils did 467 to infantry. Losses, Lifeguards, 23 dead, 106 wounded, 11 missing, total 140. 6% for the brigade. Jersey Devils, 18 dead, 95 wounded, 17 missing, total 130, 5% for that brigade. Kaisers, I don't know what the hell they were doing. 5th Arty, Goblock's battery did 43 to infantry, 3 to cavalry for total 46. Copeland's lumberjacks did 15 to infantry, 18 to cavalry for total 33. Molly Pitchers did 66 to infantry, 16 to cavalry for total of 82. And they took no counter battery fire. We didn't lose any commanders. Let's see if we got any of theirs. Wounded General Quarles and killed Brigadier General Drew. Oh, did a brigade surrender to us? Because it says we captured Brigadier General Walton here. Yeah, Walton's brigade surrendered to us. Very small brigade, 254 men. I'll get closed out here, and I'll see you all at the newspaper screen. All right, Battle of Fayetteville is ended with Pierce's corps retreating in panic. The Army report suffered total casualties of 2,565 men. There were 360 killed and 729 captured. Our casualties totaled 294 men, with 45 dead, 31 missing, and the rest wounded. We've captured 1,249 rifles in the field and sent 723 soldiers off to our POW camps. And General Walton lost face in that fight. All right. And it's actually, I didn't notice that, it's a victory on July 4th. So that'll make the newspapers happy. Especially after what just happened in Fredericksburg on the 3rd. And it looks like we're almost into Decatur now. Starting to flip that over to our control. That should go pretty quickly, though. He's already down into the yellow. Do we still hold Atlanta? They never retook Atlanta. Interesting. Very interesting. I think his next stop's going to be Tuscaloosa, then Montgomery. Then see if we can take Macon again from got the Army of Alabama headquarters there with McCown's corps. Oh, they got like no troops. So we can easily finish taking Alabama and then retaking Georgia. Independent Cavalry Corps is almost to Brashear. You boys need to finish pulling back. The morale's broken, but their readiness is still good. We just got to get their morale fixed so I can send them back at that fort. And the Army East has pulled back to Charlottesville. They're just arriving in town now. Hopefully, the readiness comes back up a little more quickly. Looks like I'll be making the next attack at this group with the grunts, probably. Jenkins' corps is down to 850 men. Did they draw more troops out of here again? They may have drawn more troops out. Well, we'll let the map keep rolling. Hopefully we get a few days cleared and some more cities captured. All right, it's now July 15th, so I'm coming in with a quick map update here. So we have taken Decatur. We have taken Tuscaloosa. I've ordered the Department of Minnesota to begin marching on Montgomery, where there's also a prison camp that apparently holds about 10,000 of our men in it right now. So we're going to go liberate those boys and the supplies at that depot, because we do need supplies for the Department of Minnesota. Their readiness is dropping fast as they are, and so is their morale as they are out of food and forage for the men and horses. So we need that supply depot at Montgomery. So he's on the way there now. The Independent Cavalry Corps is currently in Mobile and flipping that to our control. It is going to take them a few days. It's taking them about 3 days to get to 37%, maybe 4 days. So they're going to be there a week at least before Mobile is captured. And then from there, I'll be moving them up and around Pensacola, up in Montgomery, and then back down into Florida, take Tallahassee and Jacksonville. Looks like Smith's Corps. It shows them down here in Murfreesboro, but they're actually up in Nashville. is flipping Nashville back over to their control. And actually, before we do that, let's get rid of that depot. I can react to the Army of Ohio, just not yet, as their morale is unstable because they've been out of food for a while. So until the supply depot is built and they have food, they can't engage in combat because their morale is not there. They're only at 26% morale. Even if they get close to the rebels, they'll just break contact. So I can't do anything with that. And I've also changed direction with the Engineer Corps. They're no longer going to try and take down Fort Fisher. I have moved them south into Charlotte, which they are at currently, which has flipped 19% into our control. So hopefully they can take that fairly quickly. They're not much larger than the Cavalry Corps, so it's probably not going to flip fast. From there, they're going to head down into Columbia. So I think we're very quickly closing in on the end of this campaign. So this may or may not be the last episode at this point. I still want to take care of this knot of rebels here in Virginia. Once the grunts are up in the green readiness, I'll be sending them in. And honestly, the Scion rifles will be returning in 2 days. They were going to be gone for over 90 days. I didn't even think they were going to make it back before the end of the campaign, and here we are. So they'll be plussing up by about an additional 1,000 men here shortly. So they'll be good to go after these corps here unless they reinforce them. So it makes me wonder if I should be shifting the Army of the East towards Nashville. Their readiness isn't high, but they're pretty stable otherwise, and I can railroad them all the way there. Wait, can I railroad them all the way there? I'd have to get through the rebels to get railroaded all the way there. Never mind. But just a quick map update there. All right, it's now July 19, and we do have our next engagement. Once again, it's going to be at Fayetteville with Fry's Corps Army of the West, bringing 10,269 infantry, 365 cavalry, and 56 guns, going up against our Army of the Tennessee once again with 19,929 infantry, 1,372 cavalry, and 30 guns. I've actually been watching them for several days. It's taken them about 3-4 days to get up here because of a heavy rainstorm, so I'm hoping their readiness is fairly low, and their morale's not high, is what I'm hoping because of that rainstorm. Welcome, my grunts, to another battle at Fayetteville. I'm expecting at least 2 or 3 more here before the campaign ends. We're once again defending at the Elkhorn Tavern, and I've set up my defenses the same way again. So nothing to rehash here. The only change was I shifted 2 divisions. I now have the Bastard Division over here along the fence line, and I have shifted the 9th Division up here, so they've been kind of disappointing the last few battles, so I decided to place the Bastards here where they should have a little bit more of effect. And the Liberty Legion is going to be maintaining its same location between these 2 roads here. So, and the Engineers and Cavalry back by the defense points. So it's already coming on 9 p.m., so I'm expecting this fight not to happen, but we'll see. And I called it another non-fight, but I don't blame him. He literally has half our numbers for this fight. But, I mean, these things get a little annoying. A lot of load screen time, setting up defenses, and then having the rebels not fight. But, like I said, he had half our numbers. And coming down that road, as you can see, every time we set up defensively there, we've gotten... Even when they get to sit back and snipe at us for a little bit, we can generally send in a crushing attack because of the way the angles are set up on the map coming along that road. So, would have been smarter for him to not come anywhere near us, but it looked like his corps was moving through the woods trying to get around us. As you see here, they kind of started moving off-road, so I think they were trying to march around us and then got caught in the combat circle. They're not going to retreat very far because it was a withdrawal, so we're probably going to have something else here happening the next day or 2. Speaking of which, the grunts are now in position. They had gotten up to the green. I did move them out of Richmond, up and around through through Fredericksburg and into Manassas, because I just wanted to have something in between them and Alexandria, really. All these corps are just smashed to bits, and I decided we're not going to fight them. I just wanted to be in between them. They may still make a run on Richmond, but once the Meade gets his readiness back up, we're just going to shift them over to Richmond. But effectively, these corps have been trapped the entire campaign here in Virginia. We're just going to keep it that way. We do now control Charlotte, and the engineers now have orders to move on Columbia, South Carolina. Buell's Corps is now moving into Montgomery, and we're just about to take control of Mobile. We did lose control of Nashville, but there's nothing I can do about it at the present. But it looks like they might keep moving. My morale's unstable, but if they're still on the move, we can go retake that, because we have food now, so morale's going to come back up. It's recovering at 13%. They may not be there, because our intelligence says they're not there anymore. It says they're on the move. And the corps that's over here at Somerset is building a supply depot. You know what? We're going to risk it and make the move, because they were able to bring their national morale back up to 39, recapturing that city, but we just drug it back down to 37 by taking the cities that we have. And it looks like Buell's now in Montgomery. Mobile still hasn't switched over to us, but it's about to. So I don't want to play whack-a-mole at the cities when we're this close to the end. So we got to stay on the rebels at this point. All right, it's now July 26th, and I do have another map update here for everybody. Things are moving on the map. So as you all know, rebels retook Nashville, and they are now in the process of retaking Corinth. They actually managed to make it to Corinth before we were even over the mountains and out of the Appalachian Valley. So Army Ohio is on the move. Their morale is still crap, but it's getting a little better, and it should be good to go once we are inside of Nashville. I have made one change up here in Virginia, and I pulled the army east-south, and they're moving to engage the rebel corps that are down here in the Appalachian Valley, and hopefully finally get them pushed away. Engineer Corps has made it to Columbia. We have flipped Montgomery, and McGowan's Corps, which was over here at Macon, and I'm surprised I never used them to retake Atlanta, is on its way to engage the Department of Minnesota. I managed to get the Independent Cavalry Corps on the move before McCown's Corps was on the move. I think they saw both corps here and just decided to come attack it. But the Independent Cavalry Corps is on the move. They're on the way to Albany, Georgia right now. From there, they'll be moving south to Tallahassee. So, I wish I'd noticed McCown's Corps on the move before I'd let them move. But we should have a numbers advantage, not much of one, especially if they have 100 guns. That's accurate. That's crazy. 100 guns in that corps. So it's probably a better thing that I had the cavalry on the move. Their morale itself is not good. They're still nervous, even though their readiness is better. They're now out of supply again, so I need to get them to Tallahassee as quickly as possible. So I could have them shift north to Macon, but it would take them so long to capture Macon, I don't think it'd be worthwhile. So Tallahassee is the target, and then Jacksonville. And that should be the final stop for the Cavalry Corps. There's really nothing much else for them to do after that. I may break it up and send their brigades to other corps. All right, I think that covers the map updates. So let's roll this forward and get this fight going on. That is one slow-moving train. We're not on defensive stance, are we? No, we're not. Good. There we go. McCown's Corps, Army of Alabama, with 14,142 infantry, 1,338 cavalry, and 83 guns, going up against our 20,299 infantry, 3,098 cavalry, and 35 guns. It's 19:30 now. Hopefully it's not that late in the day on the battle map, but we'll see. It's definitely going to be a day 2 fight if they do fight us. Welcome, my grunts, to the Battle of Montgomery. We are on the Eagle Creek map, which I think is the first time we're fighting on this map this entire campaign. This is one we usually see a lot of, but I think it's the first time we're seeing it on this campaign. We are defending back here at the Bronzeworth House, and the rebels are entering from one road here. I'm not sure it even has a name, but they should be coming in from here and marching up this road here. So I'm leaving one division at this crossing here, just in case the rebels decide to cross over to Danville and then come back up and around this way to capture it through the swamps. So I'm leaving the 1st Infantry Division to cover that crossing point. The 3rd Infantry and the 5th Infantry are going to be lining along the railroad cut here, with my artillery up here in the open fields firing down the road. So not pretty straightforward defense. I'm expecting them to come down the road here and possibly march off in this direction and come straight across at us. And if not, we should have a good parallel fire on the road. And good God, I was hoping for this nice little throwdown fight down here in Alabama, but just spent a lot of time sitting there getting my defenses set up, and right at the end of the day, right as their cavalry came into view and took a couple of shots from our artillery, they decided to withdraw. It's smart on their part because, they only have 14,000 infantry to my 20,000. But they did have 85 guns. They probably could have knocked all of my artillery off the field if they brought them up properly. Another disappointment. Too many of these non-battles happening. All right, it's now July 27th, and we have just fought a battle at Jonesboro in the northern end of the Appalachian Valley. Looks like General Helm took the blame for that loss. So, and it was an interesting fight. I really should have recorded it, as I put my cavalry into a bad spot, and both brigades were fighting back to back in opposite directions, but it turned out okay. I really should have recorded that one. The enemy's reported suffered total casualties of 724 men. There were 135 killed and 202 captured. Our casualties totaled 105 men, with 31 killed and 19 missing. That's even with us fighting back to back, firing in 2 different directions. The rest of my corps did not get involved at all, because the 2 corps in the north end of the Appalachian Valley had about 3,000 men combined. So, interesting little fight. I really should. Sometimes these smaller fights are the more interesting ones, and I really should have recorded that. But this should clear the Appalachian Valley for us. It's time to get you guys down into Knoxville. Now, once they recover, we're going to go take care of this corps. Anderson up here at Somerset. Army of Ohio needs to get the lead out, but the readiness is low, so they're moving slow right now, because I need them to get back down to Corinth and retake that. And it looks like McCown's just going to be camped out here. I'm not ready to attack him yet. Our morale is good, but I need our readiness up, because as soon as we attack him, and if it's a victory, I need to follow up immediately and push into Macon, because it's a long trip there for that size corps. So I need their readiness up there so they can make the trip a little more quickly. All right, it's July 28th, and we actually just fought another action at Fayetteville. I did not record this battle because it started at the end of the day, and I fully expected rebels to once again retreat from the battle. And, time with me setting up and talking and all that, what a wasted time. But they actually did fight us. And it was a pretty lopsided victory. So we took down Fry's corps and one other corps. They suffered total casualties 3,435 men of 524 killed and 595 captured. Our casualties total 483 men with 75 killed and 82 missing. So, as you can see, pretty lopsided numbers there. Almost 6 to 1, about 5.6, 5.7 to 1 on the losses there. Wasn't a major victory, sadly. It came up just shy of that major victory, which is actually what I was really hoping to grab. Looks like poor old General Armstrong lost the face for that fight. I was really hoping for a major victory so that we could push these guys south. See, 350 men? Really? Still 7,000 men garrisoned in this force. Ugh. But we are still green readiness. Once we're fully green, I'm going to go besiege Fort Smith. Hopefully these corps are with it and surrounding it when I besiege it, because that will just keep them all locked in at that siege. Which, if their readiness is low enough, will allow us to win the siege, even though there's 7,000 men in there. We breaking up their units, their morale break, and that'll win the siege for us. Where are these guys retreating to? Oh, they're going to go join Anderson, aren't they? That's what they're going to do. Army Eastern Tennessee was one of the units we fought up here at Jonesboro. It's got 2,000 men going up to 3,000. It looks like I don't even see the other corps. They may have fully disbanded it. Cavalry Corps, once again, moving fast for me. So we got them to Albany, Georgia. It's time to get them down to Tallahassee, Florida. I'd say enjoy the weather, boys, but you're wearing wool uniforms, so it kind of sucks. Still locked in over here. I just cannot move this force yet. I need their readiness to be higher before I launch an attack. Otherwise, we're just going to be stuck sitting here. Meet at destination. Good. Let him sit here, get his readiness up also. It should rise quickly as we do have the depot here. It says 35 days to full readiness, but as long as they're in the yellow, we'll get them on the move and heading towards Somerset to take care of those corps in that region. I would prefer to get them moving against Chattanooga, but once again, I don't want anybody getting stuck on this damn river. So I'd have to march them over the mountain towards Asheville and back down and around, because everybody seems to get stuck here. At least my armies do. Rebel armies don't. Ours do. Army Ohio. Dix, you need to get a move on with your men, because I need you to go retake Corinth. We do have their national morale down to 34. It was a little lower when we held Corinth. So we're getting near the end here. I am not going to do an August monthly, because I feel this campaign should end soon. If by the end of August the rebels still have not capitulated, I'm going to call an end to the campaign, because we control so much of their territory at this point that, I mean, the rebellion's dead for the most part. We have butchered their armies. They now have less men in the field than we do, which is a first for the campaign. We won 129 battles to their 24. Most of their, only 3 of those victories are them actually winning land battles, to me doing something stupid. The rest are actually fortification battles. We're at 104,000 casualties there, 273,000. So the campaign is concluding at this point. So I'm going to keep it going to the end of August. Like I said, if they haven't concluded by then, I'm going to call the campaign at that point, because they really can't put up much more of a fight. Once again, we have their units starting to surrender to us, which is always a sign of the beginning to the end. But right now, we're playing whack-a-mole with the cities. Like, they're at Grenada already. How are they already at Grenada? Smith's Corps is moving faster than it should be able to. It is moving with lightning speed. And I don't want to play whack-a-mole with the cities. I really don't. Ugh. All right, it's now July 31st, and we do have another engagement here, and it's one I'm bringing on myself. So as I was mousing, because I occasionally mouse over these core over here to keep an eye on them, one of them was being reinforced up to 16,000 men. So I decided I had to launch this attack now before they have me outnumbered. So right now we're even on in numbers. I have 15,718 infantry, 1,870 cavalry, 32 guns. There are 15,586 infantry, 1,801 cavalry, and 4 guns. The only thing we have an advantage in is guns. And I'm in a big advantage because, as we've seen, even their batteries with no guns somehow have ability to fire at us. So my biggest concern, once again, is the Department of Western Florida, so hopefully they don't... No, I didn't call it last battle, but I'm going to say this battle. I think Man Fenrir's Florida Warlock is leading that corps. There's no way in hell they're disappearing like that on direct feet, but I think that's what's happening. Welcome, my grunts, to the Battle of Culpepper Courthouse. Once again, we're on the Fredericksburg map, and we are attacking from a correct side as far as the Union is concerned. And the rebels are actually defending well back here on Telegraph Road by the Owens house, which is way back from Fredericksburg itself. But they do have multiple entry points, so they could be anywhere in this area. We've seen them defend forward of the defense points before. I'm kind of hoping they are back here, since we tend to fight in the woods better than the AI does. But we'll see. It's going to take me a while to get in position because this is just marching over pretty large hills. If anybody's ever been over here to Fredericksburg, it's pretty large hills, pretty hilly, mountainous. I can hear some of their men talking down here, so it sounds like they're on the defense point itself. So, plus we got to get across the damn river, which means we have to come up here to Falmouth. Because these bridges are not built. Even though you see them on the map, they are opaque, which means they're not built. If they were in the rebel control line, they would be built. And I'm not going to waste time with my engineers trying to build them. So we're just going to go march up across at Falmouth and hopefully have an engagement today. It's 10:30, but having to march up here and then back down again, there may not be an engagement before the sun goes down. All right, it's now 13:54. I do have my corps basically across the river at this point, and funnily enough, I'm sending my cavalry out down around this way, and I spotted entrenchments that the rebels had built but are no longer defending. Oh, there are troops in those entrenchments. Look at that. Who's down here? Randolph's Corps, Army of Washington, and we're actually about to ride right past these guys. Hopefully we don't get drawn into a combat with them. My infantry was actually marching to set up at this field here. So, yeah, there is that. Looks like I need to prepare an attack in the opposite direction. Oh, wow. Or at least set up defensively while I attack up the hill at the other forces. Can I ride past them at the double? Hopefully they don't turn to fire at us. I'm not firing at the vedettes. Oh, I think we may end up with a fight like I did in the other one I didn't record, where we were looking in two different directions. Still waiting for the 3rd Division to finally show up so I can get them ordered moving. I may send them straight across this open field and try to keep these forces locked in. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight. My divisions are moving in position. My corps commander's still quite a distance away. Irish division's finally getting on the move. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting fight, I believe. All right, it's now 1440, and we're about to have ourselves a meeting engagement behind, in between the lines here. I did run it up to 5 times speed, trying to get things moving along, which I generally don't do. My cavalry's made into position. Looks like the palmettos might be headed for them. I wanted to kind of leave them in position and hopefully like right up on the objective. There's Florida men back there. Once it looks like it's clear for me to do so. Looks like these guys are moving for the entrenchments. Did you stop dead? What are you doing?
Save your water for when the shooting starts.
It's because they're bunching up because they see the rebels. So Mobile Dragoons and Moore's Brigade have made it past us. I'm going to reorder this division. I ordered the Irish to come down and set up along this road here in front of the entrenchments, hopefully keeping some of them locked in place. I don't want to push on the entrenchments. That'll just be a bloody affair that I do not need. There's a fence there. No, thank you. The boys getting set in position right here. Is it just the palmettos descending this way? I hope so. If it is, we'll just ride them down.
Anybody got his back and come in, don't fall behind.
I don't know what I'm doing. The AI doesn't know what I'm doing. Perfect. At least bring the batteries down here. Will at least be somewhat useful. Are they abandoning the entrenchments? They might be. Come on, boys, get up there. Let's go. They're coming across that stream. I wanted you in position before that happened. Let's push it forward to the edge of the woods.
Save your water for when the shooting starts. Keep the cadence, man. Save your water.
Palmetto's have me a little worried because they will have my cavalry outranged. $100 men. How does that unit even exist? Palmetto's cutting cross country now. That's a good sign. These guys abandoned the entrenchments. I like it. So it was the Irish division heading down here. It's the Whiskey Vikings, actually. This may give me an opportunity to attack them in the rear when they, if they come and attack these lines here. But the rebels have been showing some aggression in these last few battles we're just not used to seeing. And I think it's AI's desperation showing. Looks like the Badans are about to hit level 3 finally. The hell are you boys doing? Let's go. Got some action over here now. Rileys are engaging the 6th Missouri. Give me an inch, I will take a mile. Reapers, what the hell are you boys doing? I swear my unit's been moving like molasses almost every fight. worshippers sweep in. There's a unit there we can't see, of course. It's probably Dan's low on ammo already, yep. Alright, pushing those skirmishers. You guys at least at level 3 before you went low? No, of course not. Alright, it's a tiny corp. Let's get rid of them. Hell's with those movement orders? All you gotta do is move forward. Why are you spinning? Let's go, boys. What are you doing? Or we just can't see them. There was an entire brigade standing in front of us we couldn't see. Christ, what's with the parade ground antics, guys? Let's go. It's too late in the war for this crap. Brigade right there we can't see. Jeez, guys, keep going. Finally, got one brigade gone. And the Reapers broke. How did such a small regiment break our brigade? Guys are taking like no casualties. Sharp's armed unit is insane. Are you boys not even firing? How many times do I have to tell you to engage the 6th? Right there, right in front of us. Now we're directly engaged with the 6th. We can't see them. What's with these movement orders? What the hell is with those orders? That's not the original route. They're going the right way. Oh, good God. Look at that. once again. Said skirmishers, not stand up. Look at that. They're right there. We're going to walk onto them. Doesn't look like the 6th even taking casualties. There they go. Stockbrokers, there we go. Put some fire down on them. Still haven't flipped the objective. It's almost there. Don't have to call off the attack yet, but I feel like I should. This rate. Virginia Engineers out there on their... not on their lonesome. Who else is here with them? Virginia Engineers and VMI. All right, 20th. Send these kids back to their school. All right, we're taking the objective. Damn, the Reapers ran a long way off. Oh, look at that. Of course, we can't see them now. And they have decided to retreat from the fight. I was thinking about calling off my attack, but they probably want to get out before we get the major victory. Messed up fight this was. Like, my biggest fear once again happened was just them, like, the disappearing acts are insane. Not get anybody else out of that. The disappearing acts that the rebels are pulling, it's not right. All right, we're taking down 2,500 or 15,000 infantry, 250 to 1,800 cavalry. We got 0 of their 5. It says they had five guns on the field. They had more than that on the field. Total loss of 2,700 over 17,000 men. We lost 1,364 but 15,715 infantry. No cavalry, no guns. Total loss 1,364 men. As you can see, there's a bunch of saves here because I'm saving every time I flip a city. Just to be sure the computer tracks it properly. All right, time for the combat reports. Engineers did not fight. Whiskey Vikings only got in right at the end. Stockbrokers did 21 to infantry. Sweemoos did 75 to infantry, and the 20th did 4 to infantry. They did take losses, though, more than they put out. Stockbrokers didn't lose anybody. Sweemoos, 4 dead, 6 wounded, 1% casualties. 20th New York, 3 dead, 22 wounded, 1 missing, 2% casualties. That's 2%, wow. Irish Division. Riley's Irish at 858 to infantry plus up to 862. Irish Brigade 538 to infantry plus up to 543. Whiskey Worshippers did 233 to infantry plus up to 243. I'm hoping to see a bunch of dead or wounded rebel officers. We're taking out that much staff. Losses. Riley's 44 dead, 248 wounded, 49 missing, total 341. Aggregate strength of 806, 30% casualties. Irish Brigade, 43 dead, 290 wounded, 41 missing, total 374. Aggregate strength 1,874, 17% casualties. Whiskey Worshippers, 8 dead, 42 wounded, 8 missing, total 58. Aggregate strength 1,899, 3% casualties. Reaper Division, Berdans did 145 to infantry, 11 to cavalry, 10 to artillery, for total 176. And they went through all their ammunition and only did that. That's crazy. Reaper Rifles, 22 to infantry, 172 to cavalry, for total 194. I know they took more casualties than they put out. That cavalry regiment was sharping them. 35th Infantry did 582 to infantry, 83 to cavalry, total 665. Losses, Berdan, 6 dead, 24 wounded, 5 missing, total 35. Aggregate strength 1,099, 3% casualties. Reapers, 43 dead, 140 wounded, 33 missing, total 216. Aggregate strength 1,443, 13% casualties. 35th Infantry, 40 dead, 230 wounded, 34 missing, total 304. Aggregate strength 2,199, 12% casualties. Gotcha Guard did no fighting, but I know the Artie Party was firing. It doesn't look like they actually hit anybody. And And the artillery never got into the fight either because of the location of the fighting. All right, did we lose anybody wounded? I don't think we did. Amazingly not. None of our officers were wounded. Let's see if we got any of theirs. Wounded General Bogg. Wounded General Parsons. Wounded General Hebert. And we didn't fight any of the Florida units. Just saw VM Department of Richmond at the end there. Wounded General Gladden. Now we got 4 of their officers. Not too bad. I can close that here and I'll see you all at the newspaper screen. Victory at Culpepper Courthouse. Army of Washington withdraws. Along with, I think it was like 7 corps in that fight, but all equal to my corps in size. Battle of Culpepper Courthouse ended with Army of Washington withdrawing. The enemy's reported suffered total casualties of 2,744 men. There are 371 killed and 1,008 captured. Our casualties total 1,364 men, with 191 dead, 171 missing, and the rest are wounded. We sent 1,012 soldiers off to our prison camps. Let's see where these boys retreat off to. Are they finally going to leave Virginia? I'm very doubtful. Didn't knock our readiness down too badly. They are headed south. Are they finally leaving Virginia? I just saw the Army of Washington. Don't tell me they're stopping right there. Oh, good God. We'll wait until we're back in the green, then we'll go smash into them again. Oh, good Lord. They don't even have a node to retreat to. Oh, now they just retook these nodes. This is absolute BS. I control these cities that control the nodes. I'm getting really sick of this. To be honest with you, I'm getting really sick of it. The friggin' whack-a-mole is getting old. It's going to be a while before you're ready to move again. Same with you. All right. I'm going to keep this one rolling. Like I said, we're just going to take this to the end of August. They haven't capitulated by then. I'm going to call the campaign. All right, it's now August 7th, and we did just fight ourselves another action at Corinth. So, Battle of Corinth has ended with Smith's Corps retreating in panic. The enemy's reported suffered total casualties of 1,948 men. There were 269 killed and 466 captured. Our casualties totaled 1,038 men, with 271 killed and 140 missing. The numbers are probably for both sides, but it was a meeting engagement in the middle of the night. The fighting literally happened overnight. The battle started at 12:30 in the morning and ended about 6 o'clock in the morning. And poor old General Lyon lost some face here because his brigade broke after 50 casualties. Looks like General Govan took the blame on this loss. No, that happened right down here where the Army of the Ohio was able to get down to Corinth, and Smith, who was at Grenada, came racing back this way really quickly. But it looks like we're right outside of Corinth, and we're not going to go into it because it knocked us down into red readiness. Oh, that sucks. Right now, the Army of the East is heading towards Somerset. Looks like we're going to run the Hardee's Corps along the way. And we should almost have Augusta. Not quite. We've got a while to go on that one yet. So the Engineer Corps is at Augusta, and they are going to remain there because Augusta is a city that kept, as soon as we left it, kept flipping back to rebel control, even though there's no rebels in the area. So the Engineer Corps is just going to sit on that city. Cavalry Corps in Tallahassee, that is almost under our control. And then they'll be moving against Jacksonville. Once they have Jacksonville, I'm going to actually transfer all the troops up into the Engineer Corps. We're still sitting at Montgomery. Both armies are just kind of staring at each other, and I really don't have a problem with that. Looks like I may need to build a depot, though. Looks like both us and them need a depot, so there's going to be 2 depots around here. But if we're just going to sit here and stare at each other, I'll take that, because it keeps them locked down and not moving to retake any of the cities. Still haven't gotten to Chattanooga yet. We got to get somebody to get into Chattanooga. I did want to do it with the Engineer Corps, since they don't have to cross the river, but they got to remain at Augusta. Maybe I'll send the Cavalry Corps. Actually, I may end up sending the Cavalry Corps. They can take Jacksonville and then run up to Macon. But then again, like I said, we're giving this until the end of August, because this campaign, like I said, it's over. It's just been a game of whack-a-mole with them retaking cities, me having to chase them down. They should actually have a lower national morale than they do now. And it looks like Hardy's withdrawing in front of us. Okay. And who's here? Anderson's Corps with 13,000 men going up to 19. So that's going to be a bit of a fight. Though I don't think I'm going to be recording any more battles, because I just want to get this episode of campaign finished. All right, victory at Somerset. Battle of Somerset has ended with the Army of Eastern Tennessee retreating, along with, I believe, Randolph's Corps. Yemen's reported suffered total casualties of 1,491 men. There were 263 killed and 352 captured. Our casualties totaled 340 men, with 43 killed, 38 missing, and the rest wounded. And it looks... Oh, General Trimble lost face in that fight. So that is going to push these corps out of the area, but I don't know where they're going to go. Once again, the rebels don't seem to retreat to their own control zones. All right, nothing much else is happening on the map, so I'll be back with the next incident. Alright, it's now August 15th, and I said I was going to wait to the end of August, but I'm ready to call this campaign here. After the last few engagements where I've had to deal with disappearing rebels, literally in front of my units, and my guys walking right on top of them and still not seeing them, the whack-a-mole with the cities, the rebels not retreating out of areas where they have 0 nodes of control, i.e. major cities controlling the smaller nodes. I'm just kind of fed up with this campaign at this point, so I'm going to be calling this one here as a victory. And interestingly enough, just a few days ago, the commanders of both armies changed. Buell was put in charge of our armies, and I think he's been one of the worst field commanders in the campaign so far. And David Jones has taken over the rebel armies. But we've had their national morale at 33 for a while. I've taken 2 more cities since it's been at 33, and the morale has not dropped. That's another indicator. It says I should end this campaign here. So, final numbers for this campaign will be for men in the field. We're ending with 122,982 in the field. They're ending with 142,787 in the field. They just did their 3rd conscription act, so their numbers just kind of jumped up out of nowhere. Navy tonnage-wise, we're at 114,000 tons to their 257,000. Once again, the rebels built a lot of damn ships, but never really used them. Battles won, we're at 132 to the rebels 24. I mean, with numbers like that, this war would have been over a long time ago. Total casualties, we're at 106,925 to their 279,263. So, sadly, won't be getting the closing chapter video, but like we've hit all the main objectives except break Confederate morale, because their morale is just not breaking, which we have seen in previous campaigns. Sadly, it is something that does happen. Annoying as it is, it does happen. So, as is usual, I'm going to take a 2 to 3 week break from creating videos with Grand Tactician, allow you guys to start getting unit avatars ready, avatar commanders ready, and units with backstories ready for me. I'm going to be By the time this video posts, the Discord section should be open for avatar and unit recruitment. They are two different sections. So make sure you follow the instructions in the Discord on that. If you're a channel member, please use the Discord. If you're a viewer and you'd like a unit, you may place it in the comments, not of this video, but of the recruitment video when that releases. So I have to get the members done first. So, once again, if you're a new viewer, returning viewer, not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you do, remember hit that bell icon so the next video comes out. You're following along in the series and enjoying it. Don't forget to bang that like button and butt stroke that comment section. And I will see you all at the start of the next Rebel campaign. Stay grumpy.